And welcome to the 2016-2017 Wesselville Family Winter Olympics Fall Update.
Yes, it's that time of the year, folks. The Fall Update for everybody's favorite Olympics.
I'm your host, Jack Wessel. Alongside is Henry Wessel.
That's me.
And we'll be going through the events this year. We got some changes. We got some new ones. It's pretty exciting.
Yes, yeah. You know, we always like to mix up the events, otherwise it gets a little tame. So we throw in some old favorites and a new guy who's going to come into the mix to play.
All right. Well, let's start it out talking about day one of our 3 days of events. Day one includes a brand new facility here for the Wesselville Family Winter Olympics.
Oh, why don't you tell us about that facility?
That facility is your personal training ground, as I've been told.
I've been doing a lot of training there in the off season. It's a nice place.
I've been there. I've trained there a little bit, not as much.
Mm-hmm.
And the name of this facility is the Parmarena.
Ah, the good old Parmarena.
So that's a good one, and that is where the accuracy throw will take place this year.
Yeah, a little change to the accuracy throw this year.
Mm-hmm.
Our old facility was becoming a little decrepit, so we actually ended up tearing down our old targets.
Mm-hmm.
They're old, probably about 15, 16 years old, and they just weren't doing it for us anymore. So we're gonna change up the accuracy throw this year.
Parmarena's got a brand new facility. The targets are great.
Been only been around for a year.
Yeah,
brand new.
Really working well. All right, who's your pick for the accuracy throw this year?
This one's gonna be tough because I think I came in first last year for the accuracy throw. You were leading very late in the accuracy throw game, and so it's really anybody's play, especially with this new setup that we're going to be having. No tire swing. It's going to be up against the fence with a target. So
only stationary targets.
Right. There's a lot that's going to change. So I think this one, honestly, I have a hard time even picking anybody. It's such good competition this year.
That's true. And we should mention it's not just us this year. We do still have Brian, who is last year's champion in the day 4 modified hockey shootout.
That was one of the most exciting.
That was crazy Olympics. If you missed it, feel free to check it out on YouTube. Wesselville Family Winter Olympics.
It's a good channel. Updates about once every year.
Well, twice with the fall update.
Not twice a year.
It's
brought to you by Pubhub.
Yes. Sponsored by Pubhub, of course. So.
What are you thinking for the accuracy throw at the Parmarena?
The accuracy throw with the new arena, it's really a toss-up. Like you said last year, could have gone anyway. I was leading after the first round of throws and then sort of fell apart, which is really a testament to my entire Olympics last year.
It's a classic Jack move from last year's Olympics.
Not a good Olympics for me. But
how do you feel about a rebound? From last year's Olympics.
I've been training hard up in New York. Got my own facility up there.
Okay.
And I think there's no way I can do worse.
That is true. That is almost 100% accurate.
And speaking of being 100% accurate, none of us will be. But
wow. Okay.
One of us is going to be the closest, and I think moving it to the Parmarena is going to give you a significant edge.
I spend most of my time there.
Yeah, that's why.
At that training facility.
Right. So you know it the best, and
you might even call it home field advantage.
You could call it that. And so I think you're gonna take a very, very closely competed gold medal.
Commanding lead, got it.
And Brian and I'd like to say I can beat Brian, so I'm going to give myself the silver. And he's not here to defend himself.
So he's getting bronze and all.
All right, what else do we have going on day one?
Day one is a typical, and this is a classic event. The classic day one debacle is the standing long jump.
Yes.
The untouched snow standing long jump. Now, do we have a location picked out for this one yet?
I believe this will be held in the Wayback Sports Complex.
Yes. Okay. Where it's a traditional spot for it.
Yes. It has been held in the Wessel Dome before.
Yes. I think our first Olympics it was in the Wessel Dome.
Yeah.
Which Let's be honest. Let's see if there's anybody that can compete with that. No one's even come close. The world record is 2.5 shovel lengths. Do you think held by this young man right here? Jack, do you think anybody will come close to defeating that record this year?
No, and for this reason. The reason we moved it out of the Wesselville Dome was because the measurements there were a little faulty.
Oh.
So I'm not saying that's what happened. I jumped 2.5 shovel lengths.
I was gonna say you're defeating your own record here.
The measurement system at the Wayback Sports Complex is much more advanced, gets much more precise.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I do not. I will be holding that record after this year's Olympics.
Oh well, you heard it here first, folks. So that being said, you said you'll be holding that record. Do you think that you have a shot of going past that 2.5 shovel lengths and taking home the gold?
I don't know about going past the 2.5 shovel lengths. Obviously, that's the goal because I can always improve from what I've previously done.
At this point, you're just playing against yourself.
Well, I got to make up for last year. Last year, as one does every year.
Somebody does. It's always someone.
I took the tragic fall.
You can never just get enough traction.
But I did jump the farthest before I fell. My feet were past yours, and I happened to just fall backwards. And I've been practicing all year.
Jumping?
Yes. And falling forward and trying to not fall backwards.
Oh.
Yeah. It's harder than you think.
All right. Well,
so I
do believe some practice in that.
I do believe I will be taking the gold in this event.
Okay.
Silver and bronze is a toss-up, but again, Brian's not here to defend himself, so I'm going to give you the silver.
I'll take it. Makes us tied at this point if we go first.
Yeah, Brian's not having a very good start. What are your predictions for the standing long jump?
I've always been a big fan of the standing long jump as an event as a whole, and I think I've been the winner the last 3 years, and so I think I'm going to keep that train going.
Yeah.
I think I have been the winner the last 3 years.
Very comedically too.
But so I think I don't think there's anything that's in my way of continuing that train rolling and taking home the gold medal here. I think that you always do a good job, but I also think that Brian hasn't had a time when he has fallen down yet. And that happens to somebody every year.
That's true.
He is due for a letdown. So I'll give him the fall down bronze of the year.
All right, sounds good. And the final event of day one, also held in the Wayback Sports Complex, will be the snowball distance throw.
Ooh, the snowball distance throw.
That's
a classic.
This year we've updated a little rules. We are going to have an official tape measure instead of...
Which is new this year. We usually just have markers.
Yes. Pubhub has generously donated a tape measure. And so we will use that to get more precise measurements, as it's at the Wayback Sports Complex. We won't be doing shovel lengths.
Nope, not this year.
And we will include boundaries of where you can throw it. If it lands outside the boundaries, it doesn't count.
Wasn't there something new about location of throwing the ball, the snowball too? Like not where the ball lands, but where you throw it from, something new like that.
We will have a line that you cannot cross. You can start as far back as you want, get a running start, and then you have to throw the snowball before the specified line.
Yes, which we've had before, but I think that this year Pubhub has really been up in the ante. They got us a whole new complex in the Parmarena and tape measures, and there's a whole bunch of good stuff going.
They're very good sponsors.
Yes, it's taken some time, but yes.
All right, final event of day one. What's your prediction?
Brian seems to always have the edge on these distance throws. He's got to hold the phone, man. He's got a cannon. I think that he's gonna take the cake on the distance throw.
Wow.
I know, and he's not even here to defend himself. And so I think that he's gonna take the cake, as he has done. I think for just as long as I've been winning the standing long jump. And so he'll ride that gravy train out. Now, as far as the second place, third place person, as far as Jack versus Henry, it's always a close battle. Luckily this year we will have tape measures, so there won't be any discrepancy at any one time. But I think I don't know, you might be able to edge me out on this one. Oh. It's been a long time coming since you've done well in this event. I think that you could do well for yourself here.
Giving yourself the bronze.
Yeah, you know, can't win them all.
That's true. It's hard to win them all.
That's right. I've never won a mall before. What about you? For this third event.
Last year, each throw was very close. This is particularly between you and me. But I actually agree with you on these predictions. I think Brian has the significant advantage for the past couple years in the distance throw.
Yeah.
Last year we did use tennis balls instead of snowballs. I don't know if anyone's gotten too used to those. It might affect something.
Oh, that's a good point.
But even when we did use snowballs a couple of years ago, Brian still won. I think he's going to take this one. I think we're going to give him a run for his money, naturally. But it's going to be very close. It's going to be a big competition. Like when we look back at the points at the end of the Olympics, it's going to be a big one if we can upset Brian or go back and forth. This is going to be a big one.
But Brian is the favorite for this one.
Brian is the favorite. Mm-hmm. We will conclude day one back at the Wayback Sports Complex. My predictions, our predictions. Brian gets first in the distance throw. I get the silver, and Henry gets the bronze.
It's going to be a good day one.
Yeah. So everyone getting a gold that day one.
Wow. Share the load.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings us to day two, and I think this is the first one that we have that brings us to some changes.
Yes.
The first day, it's kind of a tradition that we always do the same events on the first day, and then that's where the second and the third day they kind of change it up a little bit, and even to certain events we try to change it, keep them flavorful. When somebody gets one extreme advantage, we try and modify it so that there's no major favorite, and that's what we've got in some of the events, or at least one of the events on day two.
Yeah. So the first event we've done on day two, it really has become a fan favorite of the Olympics, is the curling event.
Curling is a great event.
Which again will be held in the Wayback Sports Complex.
As per usual.
Yeah, it's right next to the distance throw area. Mm-hmm. And this is one that we didn't do it last year because there wasn't
inclement weather.
Yeah, inclement weather. So it's going to be interesting to see who's kept their curling skills sharp over these past 2 years.
Yeah, it's a big change. What did we substitute that for last year?
Bocce ball.
Bocce ball,
which really set the tone for my Olympics.
That was not one of Jack's favorite events. But
I'm more of a Winter Olympics person, not the Summer Olympics.
Right. So, and sometimes the weather doesn't allow for that. But
bless you.
Then you just gotta sneeze on them. So.
All right. So the curling predictions for 2016-2017. This even a couple years ago, this was a very closely competed. Very closely competed. It's always a toss-up. If someone knocks over the bottle, it can change the whole game. But I believe that I have kept my curling abilities sharp, and I've always been particularly fond of this event. Mm-hmm. So I believe I'll take home the gold, just like I'll be taking home these cinnamon roll waffles.
Mm-hmm.
which are delicious.
You can get them at Pubhub.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, one of the things that I've always liked about curling is how it's naturally evolved, how our strategy has naturally evolved. We started off by standing up and kind of tossing the rock towards the bottle. And then we started kind of sliding it. Some people even use the two-knee technique, where they get down on two knees and kind of push it. And there's a whole bunch of different strategies, and it's all based on what works for you. I'm a big fan. I like to go down on two knees, but I don't push it. I just kind of slide it, which is it's different. Brian's a big fan of the pushing. I don't remember specifically what your strategy is, or maybe it's changed in the last 2 years due to your time in New York in the off season. Maybe they have different tactics up there that we don't know about.
I've got a very, very old-fashioned curling coach. I'm very, very fond and comfortable with the stand-up, the classic stand-up toss.
Oh, hey,
it works.
And whatever works for anybody, and that's part of the reason why I think that the curling has remained over the years as one of the biggest fan favorites, as you viewers can agree back home. I think as far as this one goes, I am a firm believer in the use of modified stances as opposed to something that is a little bit old-fashioned or more traditional. So for this one, I think that the people that have adapted to the times might be more adept to winning the gold medal here. I think Brian's got a little bit too much oomph in his shot. He doesn't have the touch as far as the rest of us do. So I think I'm going to give myself the gold on this one. But I think that your old-fashionedness combined with your sense of touch, I think they'll even each other out more than Brian's lack of touch with his newfangled strategies. I think I'll give you the silver on this one, and Brian will take the bronze.
All right, that's very, very accurate analysis.
I try.
All right, the next event on day 2 really has become a staple of the Wesselville Family Winter Olympics over the years. Even did them in the summer. That is the hockey shootout.
Hockey shootout.
It's become a great event. Always exciting. Always close.
Really good time.
Held here at the Wessel Dome, and it's if I'm not mistaken, we'll be using the same rules as last year, where you will get credit for making saves.
Yes, I think that was really a smart decision.
I agree.
Goalies a lot of time they go unappreciated, and I think this is a great way to appreciate an overlooked part of the game.
Yeah,
that really is half of the game right there.
It's a big half,
mathematically speaking.
All right, Ed. Well, actually, I take it back. It might not be here at the Wessel Dome. It could be in the Parmarena.
That's true. There is room for it to occur at the Parmarena.
And the officials of the Wesselville Family Winter Olympics have not released that information yet. They don't want to give anyone competitor an advantage, getting home ice or being able to practice there more often. So they've kept it disclosed
under wraps. When's the announcement date for that?
I believe it's right before the opening ceremonies.
Oh yeah. Which is smart. It's smart on their part.
So the officials will make sure they will know, and they will make sure all the travel accommodations are set. They'll make sure everyone can get there. They won't tell us until the day before the Olympics officially start, and after that it's fair game because you're going to have to train for all these events. So you'll have to get in what you can at either the Parmarena or the Wessel Dome.
Now that being said, always a classic event. We've got, I think all the rule changes, I'm not sure there are any rule changes this year, but it is going to be extremely exciting.
Yes, and personally, for me, I have watched and played, for that matter, a lot more hockey. Whether I haven't played any hockey on the ice, but that's not important because that's not what we do here anyway. I have played more hockey. I got myself a new stick. I've got a couple new jerseys. So I think I'm really ready to go. I've got updated equipment.
All flash.
I think it's going to give me a significant advantage to this previously closely competed event. I think I'm going to take
previously closely competed.
Yeah, because it was closely competed. Now I have a clear edge with all my new equipment. Like you said, adapting to the times.
Wow.
So I'm going to give myself the gold as I got 2 years ago.
Reclaiming the throne.
And it's honestly too close to call between you and Brian. I can't predict the silver. It's too close.
I think this is one of the best events that we have. It's always a close one, and it really plays to all aspects of what the Wesselville Family Winter Olympics is all about. Competitive nature, being skilled with a wide range of skills, and that all kind of comes to fruition here in the hockey shootout. You've got to be able to you have to have finger dexterity when it comes to gripping and ripping, if you will. You have to be able to react, very quick reaction times as the goalie. You have to play mind games when you're trying to deke out the other goalie. There's so much that goes into it. I think that's why it's one of my favorite events, and one of the best events just in general.
I agree.
And the fact that it's close every year.
Yeah,
it's great. You do have the new equipment, and I don't see why that wouldn't give you a competitive edge. I think out of the three of us, there's one of us that plays hockey consistently, at least one time per week for the last 2 or 3 years, except for in the summer when there's no ice. And that's me. I play at least once a week, every week, and I've gotten pretty decent. I think that my consistent training is good, but Jack's up and coming. It's hard to deny that ability. The raw, natural, young blood, young talent. So I don't know. I think it'll be close between me and Jack. Brian's always a surprise because he's got all that power. Mm-hmm. I think you said it's impossible to tell between the three of us, or the two of me and Brian. And I agree with you. I think that you very well could take the gold here. And second or third is kind of and it's not arbitrary, but it's too close to call.
Yeah. Brian's pure slapshot approach last year
was what
really made it hard to stop.
Mm-hmm.
Really just cut down the reaction time you needed. It was very tough to stop.
Right.
So we'll see if he goes with that approach again this year.
I have to imagine that he will. It's a big strength.
Yeah. All right, so that's the hockey shootout. And the final event of day 2 consists of a little bit of a change.
New change.
And I think this is good. It'll really help level the playing field.
Yeah, it evens out a little bit. Why don't you explain it?
This is in the biathlon event held here at the Wesselville Dome.
Now, how did just for a reminder for the folks at home, explain how the biathlon event used to work, and then we can explain the changes.
All right, so the way it used to work is you would take 2 laps around the entire Wesselville Dome, and then you would have 4 targets with 4. That's 5.
4. My thumb is. It
It
was like halfway.
All right. Well, you get 4 targets.
4 targets.
And then you get 4 shots with a BB gun, and however many targets you missed, that's how many laps around the warehouse section of the Wesselville Dome you had to do. After you do your penalty laps, then you had to do 1 more lap all the way around the Wesselville Dome, and then you're finished. This year,
we're changing it up a little.
Just a little bit. You still have to do 2 laps of the Wesselville Dome, but then instead of 4 shots on the BB gun, it's getting changed to 5 snowball tosses.
At 5 different targets. The rest is the same.
Yes. The other rules are the same. However many targets you miss, that's how many laps you have to do of the warehouse section. And then you still finish with 1 big lap of the Wesselville Dome. This brings in a couple new aspects. Shooting. The gun did not have a 100% fire rate. I fell victim to that, I think, every year.
Multiple years.
However, the 5th target adds for another potential lap.
That's a lot of laps.
Could really change the game.
That's right. Yeah, I think it's nice. I think you said it wisely or smartly earlier. It levels the playing field almost. We always had Jack in mind with this one. It always seemed like he would have the advantage because he does cross country and he runs a lot. And so we always thought that would be an unfair advantage in his part. So we monitored it off by doing something that me and Brian were a little bit better at. Now it turns out that was a little bit too much of a competitive edge. I guess you just call it a strict advantage rather than a competitive edge. So as we as we do here at the Wesselville Family Winter Olympics, we monitor and we collect the data, and then we go forth and make changes. And this was one of the changes that I think that we needed to make.
Yeah, this is very, very good. And everyone, all of the competitors agree. And I'm now very, very much looking forward to the biathlon a lot more than last year.
I think, as with every year, I think that Jack is going to go into the biathlon, at least as far as this reporter is concerned, as the favorite.
I would agree.
He's got the legs, and his arm is a little bit more accurate than his trigger finger. I think that he goes in with the gold here.
Well, let's hope so, and I'm going to agree with you. The shooting was my downfall the past couple years in this event, and while I haven't performed particularly well in the accuracy throw either, I am significantly better at throwing a snowball than shooting. So I think that's going to help a lot. Also, you still have to perform though, and with the extra target, it could really, really change things up.
We won't know until we get there.
That's true, and that's what's going to make it all exciting. So I agree. I think I am the favorite, and again, this is really close between you and Brian. It's all going to come down to who hits more targets.
That's right.
And it's going to be a very, very exciting day two. And day two is really, really where points are won and lost.
The game is won and lost in day two.
Mm-hmm.
That's everybody says that. Everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm. Day two, at least in my eyes, is the most important day of the Olympics.
Day two, woohoo!
That's what they say. Now that day two is done, we can move on to day three.
Final day.
And day three has lots of changes.
Yes.
There's 2/3 of these are either brought back events or new events.
Mm-hmm. So I think that we should start with the event that everybody's been asking for comeback on this event. Potentially has the best alliteration out of any event that we've ever had. But before I bring it up, some of you may already guess what it is. I want to bring up what event it's replacing. It's replacing an off-site event that we've been going to for a couple of years now. It's really been kind of an unfair advantage to one of our competitors. So, like we always do, we modify and we adapt. We are getting rid of the ice skating event. And I know some people are like, oh, ice skating, like that's a classic staple. It is, but we decide every year to make some changes, and that was one of them this year. It might be coming back. We'll set up a poll for you guys to pick which events come back in the future years, but ice skating's on the outs. And on the ins, this is our bring back game of the year. Again, my favorite with the alliteration is stick in a snow stack.
Gotta love the stick in a snow stack.
Stick in a snow stack. It's classic. The way this game works, it'll be in round robin format, where two of our competitors will compete to attempt to dig out a stick that has been hidden in a snow stack by the third competitor.
Hence, stick in a snow stack.
And whichever competitor comes out on top against each other or against the other one will get 1 point. The loser will get 0 points. Whoever gets the most points at the end of the round robin will be the winner. If everybody ties, we'll do another round until there's no ties.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this will be held in the Wayback Sports Complex.
This is a Wayback Sports Complex exclusive.
Good. Now, the 1 year that this event was held, you were the champion.
I claim victory.
That also, even when we had that, was a little different format. That was just the first time we did it was the winner, and then it was second and third place went head to head.
That's right.
I think the round robin format is a lot better. It's a lot more fair.
It's a new thing. It's a new substance.
Yeah.
Try it out.
And I'm looking forward to this event. Maybe not quite as much as you. I know you're really.
I love this event.
But I am looking forward to it, and I honestly have no idea based on predictions. This just seems so much of a toss-up. All of us seem like we can find that stick really quick.
That is true. I've been working on my hunting ability myself.
Oh,
I don't know if you know that or not.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I have been. And so search and destroy is becoming one of my best capabilities.
Oh.
And so I think that I hold a distinct edge, if you will, on this one. So I think I'll take the home goal. I also think I'm the most excited for this event. Has been
that's very believable.
Outspokenly my favorite event that I felt the need for it to come back for many years now, and I'm happy that it finally comes to fruition. I think that not just the excitement, but also my newfound ability to search and destroy is going to give me the gold in this event. And I'm the only one that's ever won the gold in this event, so
sure.
I've got experience on my side.
All right. And we'll go from the comeback event of the year to the new event of the year.
Brand new.
That's never been done before here at the Wesselville Family Winter Olympics. New in 2016-2017 is the on again, off again warm clothes challenge.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Why don't you tell them how it goes?
Okay, so the on again, off again's warm clothes challenge. Is a really exciting new challenge. It's based outside, so a competitor will start the game wearing nothing but a t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops, and they will be forced to change into a set of winter boots with really warm socks. They gotta get a pair of pajama pants, sweatpants, and snow pants on, and they have to put on a long sleeve shirt, a hoodie, a jacket, and a winter coat, and a scarf, gloves, and a winter hat, and it'll be a timed event. When they're done with everything and been cleared, they can hit the timer to stop the time, and the person who has the least amount of time left wins the game.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We're all looking forward to it. It was just announced yesterday as the new event on day 3.
That's right.
And we can talk about which event this is replacing. I mean, you wanna tell them that one?
I think that you might be more able than I am to do that one. It's slipping my mind.
All right, well, this is replacing the snowmobile competition.
Ah, that's right, the snowmobile competition.
That one, we've had some difficulties in the past. It hasn't been the best event. It'll be up on the poll for you guys to vote and bring it back. But for now, we're gonna go with the on again, off again warm clothes challenge. So this hasn't been announced where it will be held. Don't want to give anyone an advantage on territory.
That's right.
It has a bigger impact than you might think when you're putting on clothes. And I think it's gonna be a close one.
These ones are always fun because it's a new event. It might work very successfully. It might work not very successfully.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that it's worth a shot. It's going to be a lot of the new events that we always bring in. They're always good to try at least one time. And I think that this is. I don't have extremely high hopes for this one, but I think that it's worth doing.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. As far as predictions go, obviously we have no idea how this event actually works, but I do believe since I'm the shortest of the three of us, it'll take me less time to get down to my feet to put the boots, socks, clothes on.
You think that's going to be the difference maker?
I think that's going to be the difference
Wow,
maker. You got to cut corners where you can.
We're talking nanoseconds here. Wow.
Stay tuned. It's going to be a great event.
Well, that leads us to our final event for all the Olympics. This is another classic, and it occurs at one of my favorite locations.
Yeah.
The classic Pubhub, the Pubhub Hilton Hill, as we like to call it sometimes when we have enough time. And Pubhub is of course the hill that we rent out as Pubhub rents it out for us to participate in these events. It's a pretty straightforward event. It's straight. You have your sled and you have to get down the hill, the bobsled, as fast as you can. First one to cross the line, as the timer goes off, is the winner.
Yeah, it seems like a really simple event. Get to the hill as fast as you can, but there's really a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of aerodynamics that you need to take into account. When to push off to try and go faster, and when to just sort of scrunch up and just dive through. This last year, instead of this, we did the downhill run, which ended up being a little closer than it should have been.
It's very close.
Yeah, the only gold medal I took home last year was in this event, and I even fell halfway down the hill, but still got the job done.
You took a tumble.
I did take a tumble. My favorite radio call from Brian last year was in the steep slope downhill run. And so this obviously this is very different. There's snow, there's a sled, but I think I'm still gonna take home the gold in this final event.
Wow.
I can get down the hill quickest, I believe.
Now this event, like many of the other events that we have had, has a tradition of controversy.
Yeah, we've had to go to video review many times in this event.
Yes. There was, what was it, 1 year, I think it was 3 years ago, that we had our timer went off. It had you come ahead as the victor, but then when we went to video evidence, it turned out that I was more victorious.
Yeah, I remember. That
was a unbelievably close race, and hats off to both competitors in that race. But yeah, this event again, it's part of what makes it so exciting. I like to hold my predictions close to the chest on this one. I don't want to give anything away for anybody. Thank you. Right here, close to my chest. Yeah, I think that it's going to be a close race. I think that there's going to be some new strategies involved this year that maybe we've never seen before. And I think that the victor will come out on top.
The victor will come out on top.
You heard it here first.
Overall point predictions. We'll jot them down for the whole Olympics. How do you see this thing shaping up?
Well, let's see. So there's 9 events. The maximum you get is 27?
Yes.
All right, so I think, okay, so wait. 27 plus 18 plus 9 is what? That says 9 times.
27 times 2, 54.
So 54 is what it has to come out to?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that Henry is going to have 54.
You're going to get every medal. He's going to compete 3 times in each event and beat me and Brian every single time.
No, I think that I've if we take the averages out over the last few years, I think that I come out on top. I think I usually get around 19 points, so I think that that's a safe guesstimate. 19 points. And then I think that Jack. No, that can't be right. Well, I think that Jack will get 18, which would be very close.
Very close.
What does that leave Brian with?
A
lot.
18 and 19 is 28.
No, it's not.
Is 38.
So that gives Brian 14 points.
14 points for Brian.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty accurate statement.
It's reasonable. And based on the predictions we made up here, that Brian would lose it in day 3. That's very possible.
Mm-hmm.
I like those predictions. I see where they're coming from.
From me.
Right. I see it. I think I have myself doing a little bit better in day 2, particularly, than you had me doing. So I think I'm going to get 20 points.
Wow.
And I think it's going to be a little bit closer between you and Brian. In things like the hockey shootout and the clothes challenge is a complete toss-up. And so I think you will get 17 points.
Oh, okay.
So what would that leave Brian with?
20 and 17 is 37. 15.
15 for Brian?
No, 17. 54. $17 for Brian.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. So the tie between Henry and Brian. Hate to go against history, and the tiebreaker here, I'd have to give to Brian based on last year's performance.
Well, and there is a reason why we play the games, because it's not always up to Jack's predictions.
It's true. It's not up to anybody's predictions.
But it's going to be an exciting Olympics no matter what.
That's true. Hopefully, I can finally nail down that championship that's been so elusive.
Yeah, it's always out for blood there to get that trophy.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, stay tuned. The Wesselville Family Winter Olympics will be back in December. Happy training.
Right. That's right. It's always a good time with the Olympics and stuff.
I think this was a really good show. Well.
Yeah, I think so too. As you know, it's always a good time with the Olympics. And I got these notes here. Get some really cool action on mine.
Alright.
Yeah, it's
a good one.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's no trick. You just celebrate Thanksgiving.